Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about plants
Okay.
and how they spread. Specifically, we're going to be looking at a blog post from a plant enthusiast named Ang, who found what they think might be broadleaf plantain growing in their garden.
Interesting.
So Ang thinks that this plant might have come from a coleus that they bought from a nursery.
Mm.
And we're going to be taking a deep dive into Ang's blog to try and learn a little bit more about this plant and how it may have ended up in their garden.
Sounds good. So where did Ang post this?
Oh, yeah. It's on kianmeng.org.
Okay.
And what's really fascinating about this is that it kind of reflects, a bigger story of plant migration, like how plants spread. And this blog post really highlights a common way that plants travel. Sometimes they just end up hitching a ride in the soil of nursery plants.
Oh, yeah. That definitely happens a lot.
So it's like a botanical stowaway.
Yeah, basically.
So instead of just thinking of this plant as a pesky weed, we should think of it more like a plant on an adventure. This broadleaf plantain, if that's what it is, may have traveled quite a distance to reach Ang's garden.
Mm.
And what I found really cool about Ang's post is that they're totally open to keeping this plant if it turns out to be manageable.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. It really speaks to their love of plants and their willingness to embrace the unexpected.
Absolutely. That's one of the great things about gardening. You never know what you're going to find.
Right.
And it definitely brings up an interesting point about the unintentional role that humans play in spreading plants. I mean, think about it. Every time we buy a plant from a nursery, we're potentially introducing a whole bunch of new species to our gardens and the surrounding areas.
That's true.
It's a good reminder that even our simplest actions can have some pretty far-reaching consequences for the natural world.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great perspective.
Thanks.
It's like we're inadvertently shaping the botanical landscape without even realizing it. Now, in their blog post, Ang also mentioned something about wind playing a role in this plant's arrival.
Okay.
Could you tell us a little bit more about how wind dispersal works?
Sure. Wind dispersal is a really cool adaptation that a lot of plants have evolved to spread their seeds.
Okay.
And it's really effective. Broadleaf plantain is a great example of this.
Okay.
It produces thousands of tiny seeds that are perfectly designed to catch the wind. So you can imagine these tiny seeds embarking on this incredible journey.
Yeah.
Just flying through the air to find a new home. It's a really remarkable strategy for survival and expansion.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way. It's like plants have their own version of air travel.
Yeah, it is.
But what makes broadleaf plantain so good at this? Is it just the sheer number of seeds that it produces? Or is there something more to it?
That's a great question. The sheer number of seeds definitely helps.
Right.
Each plant can produce up to 20,000 seeds.
Wow.
But it's not just the quantity. The structure of the seeds is important, too.
Wow.
They're tiny, lightweight, and often have a shape that allows them to catch the wind really easily, almost like little parachutes. This allows them to travel super long distances, sometimes even across continents.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Wow. That's incredible. So it's not just about quantity, it's about design, too.
Yeah.
These tiny seeds are like nature's little flying machines.
They really are. And it's this combination of prolific seed production and these really clever adaptations for wind dispersal that has allowed broadleaf plantain to become naturalized in so many parts of the world, even though it originated in Europe and Central Asia.
Yeah. It's amazing to think about the journey this plant has taken, from its ancient origins to gardens all around the globe.
Yeah.
It really highlights the interconnectedness of ecosystems.
Yeah.
And the power of those forces of nature that shape our world.
It is.
It's almost like solving a botanical mystery, isn't it?
It is. And it's also a really good reminder that there's often more to a plant than meets the eye. What might seem like just a simple weed might have a fascinating story to tell.
Yeah.
And maybe even some hidden potential.
Okay.
Speaking of hidden potential,
Yeah.
did you know that broadleaf plantain is edible?
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
So this plant that might have hitched a ride from another continent
Right.
ended up in Ang's garden? You can eat it.
You can.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay. Yeah, it's been used for both food and medicinal purposes for centuries, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So Ang might have just stumbled on like a really versatile resource.
Right in their garden.
Right in their garden. That's so cool. I had no idea that a plant that's so often just considered a weed could have like such a rich history.
It's true.
It really challenges our perceptions of what's valuable and what's not,
I know, right? It's easy to dismiss plants that we don't recognize or understand.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, these so-called weeds have these really fascinating stories
Right.
and unique properties that are worth exploring.
Okay, so now I'm like really curious about the culinary side of broadleaf plantain.
Yeah.
Like, what does it taste like?
No.
And how do you prepare it? Is it something you'd find on like a gourmet menu, or is it more of a home remedy kind of thing?
Well, it's not exactly gourmet fare,
Okay.
but it's definitely more than just a home remedy.
Right.
The leaves have kind of a slightly bitter, earthy flavor,
Yeah.
similar to like spinach or kale, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
The younger leaves are more tender,
Okay.
so you can eat those raw in salads,
Oh.
but the older leaves are better cooked.
Yeah.
You can saute them,
Okay.
add them to soups and stews.
Yeah.
You can even use them to make pesto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's way more versatile than I expected.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why Aang might consider cultivating this plant.
Yeah.
Sounds like a totally free and nutritious addition to their diet.
For sure, it is. And it's also a great example of how we can find sustainable food sources right in our own backyards.
Right.
But, there's a flip side to this plant's adaptability and success.
Okay.
Its ability to spread so effectively can sometimes lead to it becoming invasive.
That's a good point. So how do we know when a plant crosses that line from being like a welcome guest to becoming like a troublesome intruder,
Well, there are a few key indicators.
Right.
One is the plant's growth rate.
Okay.
Like if it spreads really rapidly and starts to crowd out native plants, that's a red flag.
So it's not just about whether a plant is good or bad.
Right.
It's more about its impact on the overall health of the environment.
Exactly. Another thing to look out for is if the plant lacks natural predators
Okay.
or diseases in its new environment,
Yeah.
this can give it an unfair advantage and allow it to multiply unchecked.
So it makes sense that a plant that evolved in one part of the world
Yeah,
might not have the same checks and balances when it's introduced to a new environment.
exactly. And that's why it's super important to be mindful of the plants that we introduce to our gardens and to be aware of the potential risks of invasive species,
Yeah.
We don't want to inadvertently upset the delicate balance of our local ecosystems.
Right. So it sounds like we need to be like plant detectives,
Yeah.
always on the lookout for clues that
Yeah.
might indicate that a plant is becoming a problem.
Yeah, totally. And there are a few telltale signs.
Okay.
If you notice a plant spreading aggressively, outcompeting native species, or like altering the environment in a negative way, that could be a sign
Okay.
that it might be becoming invasive.
Right.
You can also always check with
Yeah.
your local agricultural extension office or botanical garden for more information about invasive plants in your region.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
I also know that there are some great online databases and apps that can help with plant identification.
Yeah, there are.
I've used a few of them myself, and they're really helpful.
They are. Technology can be a super valuable tool in helping us understand the plants around us.
Right. Yeah.
But also, don't underestimate the power of just observation.
Okay.
Just paying attention to changes in your garden,
Yeah.
noticing new plants,
Right.
and doing a little research can go a long way in preventing the spread of invasive species.
It's like being a citizen scientist,
Uh-huh.
contributing to our understanding of the natural world
Yeah,
and helping to protect our local ecosystems.
absolutely. It's something that anyone can do,
Right.
regardless of how much they know about gardening.
That's cool.
Now, I know we've been focusing on the potential downsides of broadleaf plantain's spread,
Yeah.
but, we shouldn't forget about the positives either.
Right.
Plant dispersal in general is really important for maintaining biodiversity,
Okay.
creating habitats for wildlife,
Yeah.
and just ensuring the overall health and resilience of ecosystems worldwide.
Yeah. It's like a delicate dance, isn't it?
It is.
We want to appreciate the amazing ways that plants have adapted to spread and thrive.
Yeah,
But we also need to be mindful of the potential consequences. It's all about finding that balance.
you got it. It's about understanding the nuances of plant dispersal
Okay.
and recognizing that what might be a welcome guest in one garden could be a troublesome intruder in another. It's really fascinating, and I think it's something we could all learn more about.
Absolutely. So back to broadleaf plantain. Besides being edible,
Yeah.
Are there any other interesting uses for this plant?
Uh,
I'm starting to think of it as like this hidden gem
yeah.
with all sorts of potential.
You're right. It's got a long history of medicinal use,
Okay.
particularly in traditional herbal medicine.
Hmm.
So it's been used topically to soothe skin irritations,
Oh,
insect bites, and minor wounds.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that a plant I usually consider a weed
Right.
could have such powerful healing properties.
It's true. It's a good reminder that nature often provides us with everything we need.
Right.
We just need to know where to look.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most valuable resources are right under our feet, often overlooked or dismissed as insignificant.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thought. It makes me want to go out and explore my own backyard and just look for all the hidden treasures that might be growing right there.
You should.
So, if someone listening is intrigued by the idea of using broadleaf plantain for its medicinal properties,
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Okay.
Is it something you can just pick and use, or are there specific things to keep in mind?
That's a great question. While broadleaf plantain is generally considered safe,
Okay.
it's always wise to be cautious when you're using any wild plant for medicinal purposes.
Right.
So first and foremost, make absolutely sure that you've correctly identified the plant.
Right.
There are some lookalikes that can be toxic,
Yeah,
so proper identification is crucial.
that's a really good point. Safety first, always.
Always. Once you're sure it's broadleaf plantain,
Yeah.
harvest the leaves from a clean area,
Okay.
away from roadsides or places that might be contaminated with pesticides or pollutants.
Makes sense.
You want to make sure that your foraged plants are as clean and healthy as possible.
Gotcha. And is there like a specific part of the plant that's used for medicinal purposes? Or
Uh,
can you use the whole thing?
Typically, it's the leaves that are used.
Okay.
They can be applied directly to the skin, or you can make them into a poultice or a salve.
Mm.
There are a lot of traditional recipes and techniques that have been passed down for generations.
That's really cool. It's amazing to think about all the knowledge that exists about the healing properties of plants.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder what other secrets are out there just waiting to be rediscovered.
Me too. The world of plants is full of wonders and possibilities. And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe some of the plants that we consider weeds today will be the star ingredients of tomorrow's medicines or culinary delights.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to learn more about the traditional uses of broadleaf plantain or other medicinal plants,
Yeah.
where would you recommend they start?
There are a ton of great resources out there, both online and in libraries.
Right.
You can find books and articles about herbal medicine, ethnobotany, and traditional plant knowledge.
Okay.
Don't forget about the wisdom of experienced herbalists and traditional healers.
Yeah.
They hold a wealth of knowledge that's been passed down for generations.
Right. It's important to seek out reputable sources.
For sure.
And always approach the use of medicinal plants with respect and caution.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about broadleaf plantain's journey across continents, its edibility,
Yeah.
its medicinal uses,
Right.
and even its potential to become invasive.
Right.
It's been quite a journey for a plant that often gets overlooked or dismissed as just a weed.
It has.
So what are your final thoughts as we wrap up this segment of our deep dive?
I think it's been a really fascinating exploration.
It has.
We've uncovered so many layers to this seemingly simple plant.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that there's always more to discover, even
Yeah.
in the most commonplace things. And it's also a testament to the power of observation,
Okay.
curiosity,
Right.
and a willingness to learn.
I totally agree. We started with this plant enthusiast's blog post about a mysterious garden guest.
Yeah.
And we've ended up on this incredible journey through botany and ecology and history and even the culinary arts.
That's right.
It just goes to show that sometimes the most unexpected discoveries can lead to the most enriching experiences.
It's true. It really reinforces the idea that nature is full of surprises.
Yeah.
We just need to be open to them.
I love that. So to our listeners out there, I encourage you to take a closer look at the plants growing around you.
Yeah,
You might be surprised by what you find.
you might.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been talking about broadleaf plantain. You know, this plant that's journeyed across continents and ended up in gardens where it's not expected.
Uh-huh.
And we've even talked about how it could be a source of food and medicine.
Right.
It's a plant that a lot of times goes unnoticed. But as we've learned, it has this really fascinating story to tell.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how one single plant can spark such a wide-ranging conversation.
Right.
We've gone from how seeds are spread to the balance of ecosystems, and we've even talked about traditional knowledge about plants.
It really shows how connected nature is and how everything is linked together.
It does.
Now, before we finish up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to go back to Eng's blog post, the one that started
Okay.
this whole exploration.
Okay.
What stands out to you about their experience with this plant?
I think Aang's story really shows the power of curiosity and observation.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just dismissing this plant that showed up in their garden as a weed,
Yeah.
they decided to learn about it, to research where it came from
Well,
and what it could be used for, and they even considered growing it.
right.
It reminds us that we can all approach nature with a sense of wonder and openness.
Yeah, their willingness to embrace something unexpected is really inspiring.
It is.
It reminds me that sometimes our most valuable discoveries come from just paying attention to what's around us and asking questions.
Uh-huh.
It seems like this plant that showed up in their garden unexpectedly really opened up a whole new world for them.
Yeah, it definitely did. And it also shows us that our gardens aren't just these static spaces, but they're actually dynamic ecosystems. They're
Right.
constantly changing with new plants arriving and seeds spreading, and, all these interactions are happening between different species.
Yeah, it's like a mini version of the larger natural world,
Right?
full of surprises and opportunities to learn.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today, what would be your final takeaway for our listeners? What can we all learn from Aang's experience and our exploration of Broadleaf Plantain?
I think the biggest takeaway is to just be curious and to look beyond what you see at first glance.
Okay.
Don't just write plants off as weeds or invasives.
Yeah.
Take some time to learn about them, where they come from, what they're like, and their stories.
Right.
You might be surprised by what you find.
It's about changing how we see things
Yeah.
and realizing the value that might be hidden in the most unexpected places.
Exactly. And remember that even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect. By planting a seed or taking care of a garden or even just looking at the plants around us.
Right.
We're all part of this web of life that connects us all.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, I encourage you to go outside, explore what's around you, and see the world with a sense of curiosity.
You're worth it.
You never know what amazing things you might find. Until next time, happy exploring.